at 50, who is, of course, Steel Nation.
Oh yeah, all the way, baby, all the way. All of
So I thought we shoot the shit. It's been absolutely insane with the free agency. Like it
It's been a
took off,
crazy
man.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it hit the floor running. I mean, we're gonna talk about week 2. I think we need to gather our thoughts and talk a little bit about week 1 a little bit. Of course, the
yeah,
big. So I mean, Chase, I was like, dude, I was just okay, all these guys are gone, man. Like I love the big pickup we got with Chandler Jones, but I was like, holy shit, what was the big net? Russell Wilson coming
yep,
into with to the Broncos, that via trade. So it wasn't necessarily free agency because there's been big blockbuster trades in
yeah.
week 1. Uh what was another one? I mean, Aaron Rodgers getting his extension, but he's only playing, I
Extension.
think, year by year, I believe.
Yeah, and you got Khalil Mack to the Chargers. I thought was pretty crazy.
Yeah, Khalil
Um,
Mack. I
on
still
top of that,
think
then they got J.C. Jackson too, the corner,
that was one of the
which is
guys
crazy.
where I wanted. I was like, okay, we're gonna get
Yeah,
JC,
I did
and the
too.
freaking Chargers just
Oh,
pulled the rug out of my feet. I was
we
like,
don't boy.
dude, Raiders, what are you guys doing? And then I saw the Chandler Jones, move, and I was like, that's a good
Yeah,
pickup. And then I saw when we gave up Yannick, I was like, oh, I like Yannick. He's a young
yeah,
stud. He loves being a Raider. We got Yasin, I believe his name, the cornerback for the Colts. That was a
yeah,
trade. Sin, I think. I mean, I just remember the game we played against them. I don't watch Colts games.
yeah,
I'm a Raider fan, so I thought, I don't know how good this cat is, but they say he's really promising, and we do need help in the backfield. And then, of course, baby, the big trade. Couldn't believe it. Uh, Aaron Rodgers must be
huge.
absolutely devastated because this
Yeah,
motherfucker is act. Did you know he was at the casino over here? Aaron Rodgers.
I oh, Aaron Rodgers was in
Yeah.
Vegas
No, he was
when
in
it happened.
no, he was at Shumash
Oh, really?
at Buellton. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, everybody's been posting on Facebook like, and he always looks sad. So this
he
guy got
always
a
looks very
big, huge
depressed.
payday, and
Yeah.
this dude's already spending his money. I would too. Like,
Well,
I
yeah,
would be absolutely depressed when your number one wide receiver goes to the Raiders. And I literally was at work. It was kind of slow. My friend calls me. He's a diehard Raider fan too. And I'm like, I'm gonna answer the call, see what's up. And he just had to tell me that one sentence.
yeah,
We got him. And immediately in my head, I was like, Devontae. And
yeah.
he's like, yeah, my brother is pissed. And his brother's a Cowboy fan. So he was like, and then it all came, the details of the contract, which we got further details later on the road. So it's not really necessarily 5 years; it's more like 3 years, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah, they explained it on. I'm not going to break it down, but just getting Devonte Adams, what Derek Carr needed for a super long time. He needed Hunter
number
Renfro
one.
was a beast. Brian Edwards, I thought would come up last year. He did nothing. Like when you watch the Raider games, you saw the route running on the other guys, and they were just not getting separation. The only one that was getting separation was Hunter Renfro, and Derek Carr was missing some of these open throws too. And then Darren Waller was, of course, injured most of the season. But getting a true number one, I think Devontae's what, 31? 31 years
Yeah,
old, around there.
no, sounds about right.
He's an older wide receiver, but we're not getting him to go deep. We're getting him for his route running ability. Same with Hunter Renfro, and then his hands. He is one of the best wide
Best hands.
receivers, probably the best wide receiver out there. We could make debates about it, but this guy's been consistent every year, and us getting Devonte Adams was such a big win for the Raiders. And I was wondering, Chase, I was like, what are we doing? Why are we not making any? We have all this cap space. What are we waiting for? Are we going to get Devontae? Because that's the only thing I could think of why we're not
Yeah,
pulling the trigger on a lot of these signings, especially with we did get a guy from the Bears O line, but you had Allen Robinson out there who's now he's a Rams, I believe,
he's a
right?
Rams. Yeah, 3 years. because they traded
that
Robert Woods.
yes, that was a good pickup for them. Robert Woods
Yeah,
is a
I
great
agree.
pickup for who'd he go to?
Titans.
Titans. That's a
The
great pickup for the Titans
Yeah,
because
it's
they
good. It's
released
great.
Julio Jones too. And Julio
Yeah,
Jones is past. He's past his prime.
he's
He's
way past his prime.
he gets
Yeah,
too injured. The guy is he's pretty
yeah, he
much
doesn't get
done.
open. Yeah, it
No,
was a good. It
he's
was a good switch.
yeah. So getting Devonte Adams, the Raider moves. Gotta hand it to our GM, our new GM. I gotta
Yeah,
hand it to the front office. You know, just patience is the virtue. We'll see. You got to see how it all comes together because I know Derek and Devonte, the chemistry they had in their college years, but they've been away for a while, so they got to. It's a little bit. I always said Derek has a little bit of Aaron Rodgers in him. I think Aaron Rodgers, of course, is a superior quarterback,
yeah,
but there might be some familiarity of Devonte, saying, and he wanted to come to the Raiders. It's not like,
yes,
yeah, the money and all that. He wanted to go because the Packers were going to match that and more.
yeah.
So it's insane. Love the move. Steelers made a couple moves as well. Let's talk
Yeah.
about that.
All right, yeah, dude. The Steelers. I mean, I mean the Steelers. You can't say did nothing blockbuster truly like the Raiders have done with Devontae, but they definitely made some big waves. And the big one, of course, was day one as like one of the first free agency pickups. They went out and they got Mitchell Trubisky. To Pittsburgh is what they're calling it. So Pittsburgh is starting in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Oh wow.
Something
Yeah.
like that, yeah. It's starting Pittsburgh, and that was the biggest signing, of course, that everyone's talking. Probably one of the most controversial signings. You hear when you listen to a lot of NFL, like top NFL analysts talk about it, you'll hear a
Mhm.
lot of them actually kind of like it. When you hear a lot of small leaders and stuff talk about it, they all say it's like the worst, out there. But when you're listening to, I think Michael Irving said it, a lot of the dudes on the NFL, I guess they said it makes sense, and I agree with them mostly. That
I
I'm
think
not gonna
it's a better improvement than what
than
is
than
Rudolph?
Rudolph, than what we have,
Yeah.
than Rudolph. This
Yeah.
is my thing with Trubisky is I'm not gonna sit here and say like try to like bring it out as like he's gonna be the next big thing. Like I have no idea what's gonna happen truly with Trubisky, but I've said it. I like him better than Garoppolo for us, and I like him better than Mariota. I
Yeah.
think and it showed in his first 2 years with Chicago. And a lot of Chicago Bear fans will tell you that there was a lot wrong with the coaching staff that he had. There was a lot going on with the Chicago Bears that was not well, and
A
his
mess, man. Matt
it
Nagy. I
was a
mean,
mess.
there's a reason why Khalil Mack is gone and going to
Yeah,
the Chargers.
they're basically
And he was quiet.
rebuilding, and
Quiet.
yeah, so Mitchell
Yeah.
Trubisky took a year, went to the Buffalo Bills, a very stable franchise, a very stable team with a good coaching, and they got to watch Josh Allen. They're the same age, but still got them from Josh Allen. He said how much that meant to him. And now, with his skill set of being a quarterback that's mobile and that really does well in short, intermediate passes, is a perfect fit for the kinds of Steelers try. So it makes sense why the Steelers were the team to go after him because they literally said all last season they want a mobile quarterback. They want a mobile quarterback because their quarterback they had last season was the most unmobile quarterback, ever. And
Yeah.
they
I mean,
want, and
which
their
is the
offense is
funniest
a
thing
lot.
because he would get
Yeah,
away from defenders so many times in his
he
prime.
would, but yeah, in his prime he was one of the best. But in last year he was not. He could not get away from shit, and so he fits the offensive mold pretty well. So I'm overall, I think Mitchell Trubisky, I get it, and I'm curious to see if it works out. It's kind of up to Trubisky now. If he's
It's
it or not, this is his best opportunity is with a
for
good
all
coaching staff and a good offense that with
yeah,
weapons. This is
I
it.
mean, for all QBs, it's always good decision making. So
Yeah,
Trubisky's probably going to be more of a time management kind of guy. He's not the guy who's going to
yeah,
sling the ball. He's going to use his. I mean, it's good that he did learn from Josh Allen because Josh Allen is probably the best running quarterback in the league. I
yeah,
mean, they have designed plays of this. I mean, there was a couple games, and especially the playoff games, designed plays for him, and like unbelievable getting first downs and his arm
yeah,
as well. Of course, I think Josh Allen has a better arm than Trubisky, but
yeah, easily.
Trubisky can win in the NFL with a team like the Steelers if the defense still plays up to par.
Yeah.
You know.
And this is what else we got to talk about when the Steelers free agency is they haven't gone a big name. They've spent the most money they have in a long time because they have the money, and they've been going for guys that are solid, good, filling like guys that are going to start. Guys, they got two offensive linemen. Mason Cole is the biggest one that we probably signed. That he's going to be a really good starter for our team. I know there's James Daniel who could be our center now. We were definitely looking weak at the center position, maybe move over our center Green over to guard, which I think he'll fit better. Um, and with that, we also got Miles Jack from the Jaguars, which we desperately
Yeah,
needed because
I hear that
yeah,
was a good pickup. Mm-hmm.
it was good because our run defense was terrible last year. We went out, got a corner two. We got two corners. I know Levy Wallace is probably the best one we got. He was a starter for Buffalo, and he'll be a starter for us. And then we re-signed some of our good players like Witherspoon. We re-signed one of our linemen, which is our best lineman. So we've done a good job re-signing players we need and getting just again no big name players, no game changers, but we already have the game changers. We have T.J. Watt, we have Cam Hayward, we have a lot of game changing players on offense from Najee Harris and Chase Claypool and stuff like that. If we just get the guys that need to help our depth, which I think was our most important and improved offensive line. We did lose Juju Smith-Schuster, Hayden,
Mm-hmm.
along with James Washington. Juju, I love Juju. I loved his toughness. Of course, numbers would not something that you'd like to see. We're expecting from him. He was definitely higher expectations, and never really reached those. But you can partly blame that on the lack of offense and the lack of quarterback play that he had. And from what I heard, he wanted to be in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh didn't want him. They did. I mean, Chiefs did not offer him that much money. Mom went out, I think, yesterday and posted a whole thing being like, we fought to be with the Steelers and they didn't want him. Like, nah.
Well, yeah. Oof.
Which I mean, I get it. Like we have two talented wide receivers, young wide receivers in Johnson, and I think they'd rather invest in
Washington,
them.
right?
No, Washington's gone too.
Where did
He went
Washington
to
go? Oh, that's a good
yeah.
pickup.
So I think we'll look at us get one wide receiver out of the draft, one or two.
One of my casualties on here that I was just absolutely heartbroken is Alec Ingold, our fullback, not re-signing him. Alec Ingold got injured towards the end of the season, I believe. He was kind of like a Marcel Reese for us. Alec Ingold was just like kind of a leader. He was a great fullback. I mean, he was in the same. There's an who's the other fullback that is like absolutely? I think maybe it's the
The
Chargers
one from the
fullback.
Niners. You think
Oh,
about
the
no, the
Niners. Yeah,
Niners,
yeah,
the
yeah,
Niners
yeah. The
fullback. I'm forgetting
Niners.
his name, but he's
Yeah, it was always like it was like just Jasowski or whatever. Like it was always him and then
yeah,
our Alec Ingold because Alec Ingold was tearing it up. He had a great season
yeah.
up until his injury. So losing him, I always thought fullbacks, our fullbacks on the Raiders, they're Raiders, So losing him
Yeah.
and then picking up the Patriots, of course, the Patriots fullback, which it's so funny. After the Tuck rule, now we have Josh McDaniels, who was
Yeah.
with the Broncos and had a very bad stink there. Now he's over here, but I like the moves so far that they're doing. I think I would have loved to have J.C. Jackson, but that motherfucker went to
Yeah.
the Chargers. I mean, even having a vet like Von Miller, and Von Miller goes to the Bills. How better of a team does?
Yeah.
I mean, do you think Von Miller still has some playing left in them?
Yeah, I think he does. I think basically the 6-year contract and all of that, like the reason getting him is not just because you're not getting him at his prime, not sure, but you're getting a guy who definitely is a team leader and definitely like when moments come, he'll be there and you
Two-time
can
Super
rely
Bowl
on him.
champ.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
2-time Super Bowl champ. He's been there, he's done it. The Rams, I mean, I remember the Rams winning the Super Bowl and how many like players on the defensive side, especially like kind of talked about how great it was to have Von Miller, like how important it was for their team to have a guy like that who'd been there, done it, and has led a defense. So Von Miller's a very good defensive leader. It's weird because the Buffalo Bills had the number one like scoring defense or whatever last year, or like led the league in least points scored against them. Then they got
So
in the
they,
playoffs and they got
yeah.
blasted by the Chiefs, but it's also the Chiefs, so it's like, what can you do? Sometimes, like, can you blame the defense if you're getting their ass blasted? But it's like, can
Well, it
Von
seems
Miller
like the
make that
Bengals had
difference?
some. Well, the Chiefs had
Yeah,
some
that's true.
questionable calls. Yeah, too.
Yeah. So it's just like
Well,
they had to do what they had to do, and I get it. Just I mean, they got better. They got better.
Well, the one free agent I'm looking, and since we'll talk a little bit about week 2 coming, we still got a
Yeah.
lot of good free agents out there. What I want the Raiders to pick
Mhm.
up is a couple Seahawks guys, man. Either Bobby Wagner, which I know
Yeah.
Russell Wilson is trying hard to get him over to the Denver. He's
Yeah.
really selling them on Denver, and then
Love
also
them
they
in Pittsburgh.
released they in Pittsburgh they released Dunlap too. I would like to get Dunlap
Oh wow.
as well. Yeah, they
Yeah.
just they recently released him. So the Seahawks are in rebuild mode. I think they're gonna
A
keep
hundred
Lockett and
percent.
DK unless there's two of a juicy offer trade offers. If they're gonna
Yeah.
send one of those guys, but dude, if anybody landed DK, because DK's a monster. If he has a quarterback, dude, if Aaron Rodgers gets him and
I know.
replaces Devontae with DK, that's a
The
scary team
Packers
over
have to
there.
do something because they have no wide receivers outside of Devontae. And
I mean,
like
you got Van
number
Scantley, I
twos,
think is still there,
he's
and
not even
then
that
Randall
good.
Cobb is still there.
They're like
Yeah.
threes, maybe twos at best.
Well, and then
They
you
need
also
to
have
they need to
Tonya
spend one
or
of those
Tanya or
first.
whatever his name is.
Yeah, or
They
Tanya, his
should have
tight
went
ends.
after and got Christian Kirk, but they didn't go after Christian Kirk.
Christian Kirk got way overpaid. The Jaguars are the dumbest team I've ever seen in my life.
The Jaguars are going to be terrible for a
They're
long
going to be,
time.
dude. You see how much money they spend on those wide receivers who are not that good of wide receivers. Like
What
Christian Kirk's a third or fourth paid wide receiver,
they
and he
give him
doesn't deserve
70?
it.
Did they give him 72 mil?
Like 62 or 80. They give him a lot of money, dude.
Whoo!
It made
For
no
Christian
sense.
Kirk, a good
Yeah,
wide receiver,
two.
two, maybe
they,
three. you
and
know,
they paid him top of the league wide receiver one money. It was, and they did that with every single wide receiver they got. They paid so much money to
so
get
we
meat, and Juju was out there, and Allen Robinson was out there, and I was like, why are they not making moves after these guys?
boneheaded moves, man. Boneheaded moves. Now the Raiders, they do
Yeah,
need. I love the Devonte Adams pickup. It's all
yeah,
gonna rely on Brian Edwards as being the number 3 guy, like Brian
yeah,
Edwards, and then we got a guy from Miami as well, who I hear has some hands. But you also have guys like Jarvis Landry still out there. They still got
mm,
some play in them. You
yeah.
also have AJ Green. He had some moments last year.
He had moments and then down moments. He was a little up and down.
Yeah, so you still got a couple names out there,
Yeah,
We said Julio Jones is out there. I think he's absolutely done. I was
Odell's
hoping
still
to
up there.
Odell, but the question is, and a lot of
His
people
injury.
think the Packers might make a run for him again, but being the
Yeah,
ACL twice is kind of hard to
yeah,
bring back. Pay him probably what he's going to be asking for now that he's a Super Bowl champ too. I
yeah.
think they extended Cordell Patterson over there at
They
Atlanta.
did.
That's a very
Yeah,
smart move by them. I believe there's rumblings that they might go for Baker. They were in the running for Deshaun. We got to talk Deshaun.
yeah. I thought that was where he was gonna go. Like I was like, okay, so he's turned down every
I
team. His
thought
choices are
Deshaun was going to go to
the
the
Saints or the
Saints. Yeah, I
Falcons.
thought he was going to go to the
Yeah,
Saints. And then he said that the Browns, they weren't going to, they're not in the running, but what was it? 240 million,
oh yeah.
230 maybe?
They offered him money.
Guaranteed money. So this guy
Yeah,
gets in trouble if he gets suspended, if he misses games, it does not matter. He gets that money.
yeah.
That's insane. That is too good of a deal. The Browns
Turned down,
went all in on this guy. Baker
and they should
Mayfield
have.
kicked on the waist. He's a better quarterback than Baker.
What?
No NFL owner is gonna go, no, I'm gonna stick with Baker if you can
No,
get a shot at Deshaun Watson. That's not gonna
exactly.
happen. That's just not realistic. And it
Yeah,
is absolutely Deshaun's gonna take that deal. It doesn't matter if it's at Cleveland. And he
yeah.
does have some
Well,
weapons there. He has Amari
I'll say
Cooper
this.
recently. Yeah.
Yeah, out of all the teams he could have, that he kind of had he got to choose, and his choice were the Saints, who have a cluster in cap space issues. They have really bad cap space issues. New coach that they don't know. They just seem to be on a weird downward spiral. You got the Panthers,
Michael
who are kind
Thomas
of,
is going to be out.
yeah.
I
Michael Thomas is
guarantee he's going
gone.
to request to get
He's
out of
gone. Yeah.
here.
The Panthers were all right, but they're kind of just, I don't know. They weren't. I don't think they have that talent, at least not as much talent as the Browns do. The
They do have
Falcons are.
McCaffrey doesn't
They have
get injured.
McCaffrey, but they're looking to trade him.
I would do. I
And
would do. I would too.
yeah, yeah. Atlanta is kind of they're on a weird downward spiral too. Their weapons are kind of being, besides Cordell Patterson and Kyle Pitts, they don't really have much for weapons.
Where did Ridley go?
Defensively, they're all right.
Calvin Ridley
Lee
left, right?
was no, he's the one who suspended for a year for gambling, and then Russell Gage left to the
Oh,
Pats.
I'm sorry. Yeah, yes. Russell Gage. That's what we're talking about. Russell Gage went to
To the
where?
Pats, yeah,
To the
the
Pats.
Pats,
That's good.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
and
that's a good
so
pickup.
yeah, it was, and so they
Calvin
didn't. I was
Ridley
like, okay,
though, what a
the
dum dum.
oh, I know that was so stupid. But yeah, the Browns made the most sense to me because they have Cooper. They had Jarvis Landry. They don't. But they had Mari Cooper. They have Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. They got a solid offensive there. They got a great offensive line, one of the best in the league. They have a great defense with Myles Garrett leading it. Solid
Miles
coaching
Garrett
for the
is
most
so
part.
good.
He's
So
very
good, Miles.
good. So it made a lot of sense. Like out of those teams, like who can have the best shot with? I know the Browns are the Browns, and we always talk them being the Browns, like they're a wet mess of a franchise, but they got talent. There's more there than I think any other franchise he had. I know for like the rumors before free agency is that he wanted the Steelers. The Steelers just didn't want him, and I could see that. I can see them wanting this, but like out of those teams he had to choose from, he's like, oh, I want to go to a good franchise known for being winning and known for with great talent, great coaching. Everyone loves Mike Tomlin, but it was just the Steelers didn't want to pay for him, which is a very Steelers thing to do. So he went to the next best option he had.
Now, yeah, you guys got to face Deshaun twice in a year.
Yeah, bring all
I
the smoke.
think the I think the Browns are they still need pieces. I think I don't even. There is no way in my mind. I think the Browns are going to the Super Bowl anytime soon, even
I
with
don't
this
think Super
pickup.
Bowl. Yeah,
No, I
I
don't
think
even think
playoffs, not
really.
Super Bowl.
Maybe I think they're one and done team. They're a one and done team in the playoffs too.
Yeah,
I just don't see
I agree.
Deshaun. It doesn't take. Football is a team sport. You
Sport.
still need
Yeah,
pieces. If that was the case, if you only needed an individual, Michael Vick would have won 2 Super Bowls at this point. You know, so there is. I just don't see it. There was clamorings too. The biggest thing in the Raider Nation is trade Carr, get rid of Carr. I listen. I think it's
what?
frustrating with Carr, but you got nobody seems to ever talk about how last year we still had John Gruden and he completely blew up the offensive line. Yes, there were
Yeah,
older guys and we got cap space, blah blah blah. But we signed Incognito for like a year and it was wasted money. What did he do? He was injured the whole season. He didn't even play one down.
yeah.
So Carr didn't really, and then Alex Leatherwood, the boneheaded pick on that. Hopefully he progresses. He was a rookie, but this dude frustrated the hell out of me because he was making the dumbest offsides moves every single in the most critical time. That was Alex Leatherwood. So everybody's got to realize, listen, Carr is not like is he ever going to be the GOAT like Tom Brady? No. Do I think Justin Herbert in our division rivals over there at the Chargers has more talent? I actually do. But what Carr is to me is he's a guy who's gonna try to get that first down and go helicoptering, get hit while getting
Yeah.
it. He's the guy who everybody loves. Everybody loves him in that locker room. Everybody outside of being a Raider fan actually generally likes
I
Derek Carr.
love Derek Carr.
That is that is unique. That is something that you could actually really form a team. We I saw a post on Facebook the other day, and they're saying, they like to throw in all the stats, this and that. Devontae coming to the Raiders, they're like, well, it's the same thing like when Randy Moss was with the Raiders, and Randy Moss was terrible. Randy Moss had like Kerry Collins as the quarterback. So you're telling me Kerry Collins is better than Derek Carr? Shut up. Listen, Derek Carr is going to get an extension. Bringing
Yeah.
Devontae Adams means we're going to get extending it. Now, the thing that I don't like what the Raider organizations have been doing is Carr is going in his 9th year, I believe. He's been in the league for a while. He's been with the Raiders for a long time. You need to look to the future and you need to draft a quarterback. we needed to draft a quarterback to back up Carr to learn the system or to at least learn from him because there was a couple games because our offensive line sucked that Carr almost got injured. And Carr's
Yeah,
and then we have Mariota, but we paid way too much for him. We hardly ever use him. So
yeah,
Carr's gonna get this extension. What we need to do in this free agency is definitely get more offensive linemen and I think some linebackers. That's why I like the move to try to go get Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner
yeah,
still definitely has at least a good 3 years playing time left, and he was solid last year.
yeah.
So even
He
if
was great.
and I think we need to get one more wide receiver because I don't know if Brian Edwards is gonna do it for us. Yeah, this is gonna really showcase of what's gonna happen this season with his career. But if we do go out for Jarvis Landry, and you don't, who knows? Who knows? We may get Odell. Who knows? It depends on his asking price. It depends if he realizes that a lot of teams are not going to give him a lot of money because of the injuries.
Yeah,
So I was hoping there was maybe even a chance to get Juju, but then Juju went to KC. KC came and they made one little move, right? We
yeah.
so the two free agencies out there though that we absolutely are gunning for. We are pushing hard. Haven't seen any news yet. I've heard the Bengals are pushing as well. Stephon Gilmore. We are trying to get Stephon
Is he
Gilmore, and
out? Is he
he's
on
in
free
free agent.
agency?
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yep.
that. I'll take him.
Yeah. 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 He's out there. He's
I didn't know that.
I think he's 31 too. He's up there in age, but he still could play. He still
I'll
has
take him.
quickness to him.
Yeah.
We're pushing hard to get him, and then you got also was it Tyroo Matthew or whatever his name from
Yeah, so
KC?
that's the biggest that Steeler fans want for the Steelers is time on Matthew. They want Honey Badger. It's been
Yeah,
talked about a while that they might be trying to get him, which I would love. We lost some work in the secondary. We need a second safety with Mika, and he's not he can let balls go past him, but he's a go getter. Like he'll go and chase after the ball, and he will go get big tackles and make big plays when you need it. So I
I
think he'll
think
be a great compliment for Mika.
I think if we don't get Stephon, we're gonna get him because I think he's gonna want to face KC 2 times a year because he's
Yeah.
gonna. I think maybe there's some disconnect from him and KC. You know, maybe there was.
It didn't sound like it was a good when they left.
Yeah, so I think he's gonna go to a rival team. I
Yeah.
mean, what's the Steelers cap space? How much do they have to spend here?
Steelers have a lot of cap space. They spent quite a bit. I forget what it is, but they were like top 3 or 5 in cap space when this offseason began because Ben Roethlisberger we're no longer paying him. So we have had so much cap space, and they still have plenty to sign whoever they want, I believe, because they haven't spent much for anyone. Everyone they've signed has been 2 deals for kind of like Trubisky was 14 million, I think, total and stuff like that. So they have plenty of cap space.
So yeah, we got some cap space too. Well, the Devontae Adams changes that a little bit more too.
Yeah,
But our other wide receiver, we did go. We might not get another wide receiver just because we got Mac Hollins, but I
yeah,
hear we might use him as a Swiss Army knife, so he might be a good special teams guy as well. The one of our pickups too that I actually, it's interesting. They went and they got Brandon Bolden from the Patriots, and I believe we still have Kenyon Drake though. So Kenyon Drake would be the number 2, and then we picked
yeah,
up Amir Amendola, which I don't really like that
yeah. He's
pickup.
not the best.
I think it's just in for depth, honestly. And then one of the biggest things for us, of course, not maybe I mean the Devonte Adams was huge, but one of the biggest things that we needed to get addressed was paying my man, my favorite, my Raider, Max Crosby, Mad Max Crosby. We gave him an extension.
Oh yeah,
What a beast. You have TJ Watt over there. We have Max Crosby, and he is
yeah. But there's like this
hungry.
big ones.
Hungry. I'll take Max all day, every day, man. I'll take
Well,
Max Crosby all day, every day.
Chandler Jones is now the better defense player is the best defense player on your team.
It's
and
a
Max
good
Crosby is number
pickup
2.
because
It's
the
a great
tag
pickup.
team.
It's a
Because now
scary
you got to
tag
worry
team. Fuck
about
that.
2 guys. That's why I think it would be nice to get a Dunlap or a Bobby Wagner in there.
Yeah,
But it's a scary now. It's crazy, Chase,
it's
because
terrifying.
in the very beginning we were talking Broncos and Chargers. Like, what the hell is going on? And
Yeah.
then everybody was saying Raiders are the bottom pool. But we came and we picked up these
Yeah.
signings and we're back in it, baby. Everybody is a contender in our in our
Everyone.
division. It's
It
insane.
reminds me of the NFC West like a year or two ago when they were just picking up. I think it was last offseason. You saw the NFC West picking up everyone because each team in that division was like, we have a chance to win and go make a playoff run. That was every
Yeah.
team's it happens in divisions where every team's just like, all right, we all have to freaking go to get like pick up everyone we can, and we need to be better than the other team in our division. That's what every like in the AFC West, the Chargers did it. You guys have done it. The Broncos have it. They went and they got guys who could pass rush. You know, each one of you guys now have two great pass
Uh,
rushers on
well, the
on each one of
Broncos
these
got
teams.
Gregory.
They got they got Gregory and they got I'm forgetting the other guy's name that they already have. They have two good pass rushers.
Yeah,
The Chargers
Gregory,
have
and it's hilarious because Gregory was originally going to sign with the Cowboys
yeah,
again, and then he pulled out, and he's like,
they
"Nah, fuck you
pulled
guys.
right
I'm
out.
going.
Said fuck yeah.
I'm over here at the
He's
Broncos."
like
And I
I'm
think
done. I'm
they
not
offered
doing
him
it.
more guaranteed money.
Yeah. But you
Uh,
the reason that you'll see it in the AFC West, each one of your teams now has two great pass rushers like Bosa and Mack over in Chargers. Because what have y'all been dealing with? Y'all been dealing with Patrick Mahomes for the last couple of years, who
cry, baby
runs around
Bosa,
like crazy. Yeah, I
cry,
know.
baby Bosa.
Hey, he's a
Cry, baby.
beast though, and he's gonna at the end
I'll
of the
take a
day,
Watt over
y'all
Bosa any day.
you all know that you have to deal with Patrick Mahomes. You got to deal with Justin Herbert. Now you
That's
have to deal with
why.
Russell Wilson.
That's why
So
we
you
need
guys
O
all
line.
have
I
pass
think
rushers. Yeah,
that's why we need O line. That's why we need to do a couple more. I think we're going to be extending Brandon Parker or re-signing Brandon Parker. Another one that was absolutely devastating to me was we lost Casey Hayward.
I
We
didn't
lost
realize you got
Casey
those Casey
Hayward.
Hayward.
He signed
Original
with
Steeler.
he
Yeah.
signed with he had a great solid year with the Raiders. I
He's
think
a great
Nate
player.
Hobbs really learned from him. There was a great dynamic duo right there.
Yeah.
The only reason I could see why they let him walk was maybe because they're bringing in. Maybe they're really trying for Stephon Gilmore. They're really trying hard for him. Another one too that left, another one that re-signed. They're going to re-sign him for 1 year, and I was like, damn it. Was Fletcher Cox? Fletcher Cox got released,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
then
I
Eagles
wanted him.
now want to re-sign him for 1 year.
Yeah, I wanted him with the Steelers. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, he's got some game
Yeah.
time, playing time too. So
Yeah.
let's see. There's still. Let's talk about week 2 here, free agency. Like, I mean, another big one was DJ Chark, was gone. Where did he go
Where'd he
to?
go? I heard about that. I
He
forget
went to
where I saw.
Detroit. He went to Detroit.
Oh, yeah. To lose his
AJ.
career.
AJ Green went to Houston.
Oh, did he sign?
I think he signed. I see a lot of these guys. Like, there's also Rashad Penny. I forgot Rashad Penny
He
is
just
out
got
there.
re-signed. He just got re-signed to the back to this to the Seahawks.
You have Austin Hooper going to Tennessee, and Tennessee trying to make
Yeah.
some moves.
I saw
Teddy
OJ
Bridgewater to
Howard went
Miami.
to OJ Howard to the Bills. So they got themselves a better tight end.
Another big thing too is that Tom Brady freaking is coming back.
Yeah.
He's coming back. He still has Chris Godwin, who re-signed with Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
I think Leonard Fournette is still out there. I think
Yes.
he is.
Oh, you know what? I made a mistake. Russell Gage, didn't he go to the Bucks? I don't think he went to the. Let me double check.
He went to the
this.
Bucks, I
I'm
think.
saying he went to the Pats. I think he went to the
He went
Bucks.
to
I'm
the
mistaken
Bucks.
that. He went to the Bucks. So he went to go play. So they added Gage as the number 3, which is a nice pickup.
Okay, here's the available players right now. So
That's what
you
I'm going
have
for.
Ryan Bates. He's a guard. Julio Jones, Bobby Wagner.
Yes.
Oh, this one was a big one because they thought he was going to resign. Was Zadarius Smith from Green Bay.
Yeah, well, they thought he was gonna. He went to Baltimore, and then the day after said, "Nah, never mind."
Oh no, yeah, he
It was
was. Yeah,
with
that's right,
Baltimore.
right.
Yeah,
Which is funny because Lamar Jackson's like, I'm trying to get these guys to come over here. They're not doing it. Lamar Jackson,
yeah.
poor Lamar Jackson. He's not that team. That team always finds ways to win, but I don't know, man. They
Yeah.
need to make some moves, or they need a good draft at least.
I never liked Lamar, and so I think that they're heading towards a downward spiral. Maybe I'm wrong because last season they found ways to win. They were very, very injured. So
And they
maybe this
lost
year
when they
they're more
lost. They
healthy.
lost by like a field goal.
Yeah, they're all. I mean, they're always a tough team to play. You never like no team likes playing Baltimore, especially Steelers. We beat them, but still, we never never love playing Baltimore because it's a tough game. But they find ways to
Oh,
win. But I just feel like they're not the team that's gonna just they're one and done in the playoffs. That's what they are.
yeah. Melvin
Yeah, at
Gordon is
best.
still out there. You also have
That's right,
Carnassia. We
Melvin
just
Gordon.
released him.
I hope the Steelers
We
go get
all
Melvin Gordon.
Trenton
Really
Brown.
do.
Trenton Brown, that fat piece of slob, taking money, coming in out of shape. T.Y. Hilton. You think T.Y. Hilton's career's done?
Um, yeah, he's been done for a while. I like T.Y.
Here,
Hilton, but yeah, he can
here's the
be
interesting
made.
one. Yeah, Ty. Yeah, I mean the Colts. I think they're still going to be good.
Yeah,
Who's their quarter? They don't have a quarterback yet. They're pushing for Baker.
yeah,
Carson Wentz was another move. He's going to Washington.
yes.
Washington's going to suck, guys. We all know that. The Washington is.
I,
You talk about
I
a
like
dysfunctional
Carson.
team. They're
Yeah,
a very dysfunctional team.
the
Carson's going to get murdered
Commanders.
over there.
Call it right. The
Oh, I'm
Commanders.
sorry. Well, I said Washington. It's still
I know,
Washington.
but say Washington Commanders. Give them the
I'm not saying
respect
that
they're in it.
stupid. That stupid name. It's so stupid.
The
Um,
commies. Command.
Here, here's the interesting one. Rob Gronkowski is still out there in free agency.
I saw that. I know there's rumors for a while that he was going to go to the Bucks, and then there was something here and there that he. Oh no, sorry, to the Bills. And now the rumor was he's probably going to go back to the Bucks, but no one's for sure.
I mean, if he goes back to the Bucks, he's gonna get those same targets, with Tom.
Yeah, he'll do one of the two.
Um,
Either go to the Bucks or the Bills. Those are his only options. He won't go nowhere else.
so here's the interesting one. I don't think we need him because we have Hunter Renfro and he's a small guy and he's amazing. But Cole Beasley is still out there as well.
Yeah, it's an
He
instant
had
one.
he had a little bit of a controversy because of the whole what was it, the
COVID.
whole jab. Yeah.
Yeah,
Tarek
Leonard Fournette's out there.
Cohen.
Yeah,
Leonard Fournette is out there. Yeah.
which that's probably one of my number ones right now. Steelers need a number 2 running back really bad. It'd be
Dude,
great
you
to
know
have
what?
him.
Leonard Fournette's a number one, man.
He
He's a
is the
number
number
one.
one. He is a number
Last
one.
year, he proved he's a no.
He's the number one. I
had
agree.
him from fantasy, damn it, and he was
Yeah,
amazing. So
I agree.
he's a number one for sure.
We
Sammy
can have two
Watkins
number
is still
ones.
out
I'll
there.
do two. Is Sammy Watkins? Yeah,
Yeah.
Steelers need to go
Blake.
get J.C. Tutter. They need to go get him. Or Armstrong.
Uh,
Armstrong's still out there. I really want Armstrong on the offensive line.
you also have
Big.
Blake
Best
Jarwin too.
best guy.
Anybody who needs a tight end.
Yeah.
Melvin
Yeah.
Ingram, like I said, Melvin Ingram would be a good pickup. He's 32, but I
Yeah,
think
Melvin Ingram. I would like him too. I'd take him.
we had KJ Wright. I think he's gone. I don't think he's going to be re-signed. Oh, Zach Pascal, man.
Oh, is he really?
Interesting. Yeah, he's
know.
out there.
He's all
Zach's a good,
right though. He's a good solid.
a
number
good
3.
solid. Maybe number 3 is Philip Lindsay. I would have took Philip
Yeah.
Lindsay over Amendola.
Yeah.
Devontae Booker is out there. Yeah, he had a solid. He was solid with the Giants when Saquon Barkley was out.
Yeah.
So there's actually some
Yeah.
couple names in here that I didn't realize are just. There's a lot of free agent. Carlos Hyde.
Yeah. I know Armstrong's a big time lineman that is one I think I saw was ranked the number 1 free agency going into this free agent.
Yeah.
For offensive tackles, he would be a big grab for either of our teams if we want to improve our offensive lines.
Check this out though. So we have Leonard Fournette as a free agent, right? So
Yeah.
is Ronald Jones. He's a free
Oh,
agent.
Ronald Jones? I didn't know they
Yeah.
had
So
both
I'm
of those running
assuming.
backs.
I'm assuming Bucks are gonna re-sign Fournette, give him some of that money,
Think so?
and then cut Ronald. Yeah, because Ronald.
See, Ronald's a good running back too, though. Like when Leonard Fournette got there, he got outshadowed. But the year before Leonard Fournette got in there, he was good. And the times Fournette was out, he was really good. Like they always had a nice one pitch with them.
I just think that Ronald's done in Tampa, dude.
Yeah, I agree. I think they'll go after. I think they'll want Fournette more than
Now
that.
here's the interest. Yeah. I mean, here's the interesting for Raider Nation is that Deshaun Jackson has not been signed yet or re-signed. He only had that
You
1
really
year
want
deal.
him, though.
I would want him for
His
because he's
career
still
is about
speed.
Yeah.
He still has speed, and he did get behind defenders. And we just like Henry Ruggs, God damn it, Henry Ruggs.
He really
Um,
has speed.
the guy. Oh wow, Chase, stop it. So Henry Ruggs. The point of having a speedster is to, of course, for the defenders to honor, play back, honor that, and then you have the middle field open. You have these short passes open. That's when you check down to the running back and they have a little bit of wiggle room. You know what? There's another name out there. I think he's not a free agent, but people are saying go get him, especially with with teams that need a wide receiver. You have Brandon Cooks. Go
I forgot
get
about
Brandon
Brandon Cooks.
Cooks. Go get him. I don't think he's a
He's
free agent.
good.
I
That'd
think
be great.
people want to trade for him though.
Oh, he did just trade for him.
Yeah.
You've already put a lot of trade into blanking right now, but for Adams. And so I don't see them wanting to make another for another wide receiver. But if you could, that's a good pick. He's always been an underrated wide receiver.
Well, I'm not
He's
even
always
saying,
had like 1,000-yard seasons with a bunch of terrible teams, and he
and
constantly
I'm
does
not
it.
even saying us, dude. Like anybody who needs a wide receiver,
Oh,
I think
true.
you guys need
I
another
would
wide
take him.
receiver. You guys need
I
another
agree.
wide receiver.
I do too. I'm saying they're gonna look for one. I think they'll go with the wide receiver because that's typically what they do. Like
Oof, you guys
they'll
should have been
go
the ones to
number.
get Allen Robinson.
Yeah, I would have loved Allen Robinson. They'll go second round wide receivers. That's what they do a lot. Like Steelers are kind of predictable. Like that's where they get most of their wide receivers in the second. So I see they'll do that. They need to address the second running back position. We need a number 2 running back. We need to address the safety and the corner position. I think safety position, and then, but yeah, I would like a number 3. I would definitely like another wide receiver. Juju and James Smith being, James Washington being gone, we definitely have a void gap after Claypool and Deontay. We need someone there at the number 3. So
Another
hopefully they get somebody.
another good running back that people could pick up are the a good third down running back, or I mean a third string running back was Alex Collins too
Oh
for
yeah,
Seattle.
he's not bad.
Darius Philon, who was with us last year, he made that huge tackle in a fourth down, try to convert Chargers game.
Oh,
We
yeah.
don't have him re-signed, so we'll see what that happens in there. He hasn't signed with anybody else yet.
Yeah.
So there's still players out there, man. There's still a lot of some names out there, pretty big names out there.
The one that I see on this is Jameis Winston too. James Winston's still a free agent.
Colts. If Colts can't get
Yeah.
Baker, they might. And then you also have Ryan
Yeah.
Fitzpatrick out there, and Ryan Fitz plays anywhere he wants to play.
That's good.
I think this is gonna be. I think it's been a nuts first week. I think I'm interested to see. There's still pieces there, players out there that could make a team better. Now the question
Yeah.
I have for you, I know we talk our Raiders and our Steelers, but the team that won it last year was the Los Angeles Rams. Do you see them with the pickup of Allen Robinson? Do you see them making another run for the chip? Do you think they still have the pieces? I think Aaron Donald is coming back. I think he said he's
They haven't
back.
confirmed Aaron Donald yet, so of course that's going to be a ginormous piece on whether or not they can make another run.
Yeah.
But I think as long as they have Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay,
They
always have
extended
a
Matthew
chance to-
Stafford though.
which is
did.
what that was smart, is because he won him a Super Bowl. He was what you expected. You brought him in to do a certain thing, and he was the guy that helped you bring a Super Bowl. So, and I mean, I told you in the beginning of the season, that was my Super Bowl team. I said in the very beginning of the season, Rams going to win the Super Bowl. You didn't believe. You talk shit about Matthew Stafford, and he turned out to be a stud. Like I said,
Yeah, I still drafted him.
he was a stud, man. And so, and with Cooper Kupp, the addition of Allen Robinson, which I think losing Robert Woods but adding Allen Robinson, they improved just slightly at the wide receiver position.
They got Van
get
Jefferson for
Cam
speed
Akers.
too, though. Oh, I would love to have.
They got Van Jefferson. That dude, he's amazing. They get Cam Akers next season for the first time. So they'll have a starting running
Oh,
back.
but you know what? I think who's behind Cam? It was expatriate. What was that running back?
Behind it was not Shoney Michelle. Yeah,
Sony Michelle.
No,
Sony
yeah,
Michelle
is a
was
very solid-
fantastic in that
Yeah.
offense. That
There
dude
was
was averaging like what
him
six,
and
7 yards
Henderson.
per carry.
Yeah, him and
Henderson
Henderson were both doing great.
Henderson was not doing good at. I think he was relegated to third string
He
because
might
Sony
have, yeah,
Michel was third, and then he bumped up because he was
yeah,
stacked damn good. So that's
yeah,
a good dynamic duo, Akers and Sony. I think you need to give a split at 50-50 though with those two.
yeah. And like I said, as Aaron Donald comes back, they lost Von Miller, but as long as again Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford are there, I think they have a shot. With the NFC not being as strong as the AFC, they have a better shot than most.
I think Von Miller did help win that Super Bowl as well
I do.
because you gotta
Yeah,
account for Von Miller.
yeah.
The Bengals. The Bengals. What a surprise team. We almost
Bongles.
beat them. We had them. We were one play away, I believe, of tying the game and taking it to
Yeah,
overtime again, or actually winning maybe, depending on what we did
yeah.
on the extra point. We could have beat the Bengals. The Bengals. Did they make any moves? I don't think they made any moves this free agency
I
yet.
didn't stay. No, they done a little.
They
I want to say
lost
they got a really good
Uzmazada.
lineman.
They lost their
They
tight
did lose
end.
Usman Zada. I think they worked on improving the offensive line. But other than that, they haven't made too many ginormous moves. I think you're going to see the Bengals are still going to be a good team, but they're not going to be the Super Bowl contending team, in my opinion. I think they'll take a step back because um, they got it. It's just the AFC is so tough. The AFC is very tough, and I just feel
I
like
think
there's
they
going to be
needed more
a
defense. Their
they
defense was
did need
getting
more
shredded
defense.
a couple.
Yeah,
Yeah,
their defense
their
needs a little
defense was
more
getting
help.
shredded.
The offensive line, even with some improvements, need a lot of help. Like Joe Burrow got ate up last year.
Uh
Like it
huh.
was,
Yeah.
it was very impressive that they made a Super Bowl with that offensive line. Like very impressive.
It was mostly
Um,
talent.
yeah, and so they're going into an AFC that's just stacked and loaded. Like their division alone is one of the meanest, hardest divisions to play against. Out, the West is going to be the best next year, but the NFC North is the toughest divisions to play in. It's brutal. The Ravens will be hard. The Browns will be tough because they got Deshaun now. They'll be a hard team. The Steelers are always there somehow. They always like to fight. They always like to beat the shit out of the other team. And then when it comes to the playoffs, you're gonna have to deal with Patrick Mahomes. You're gonna have to deal with Joe Herbert next season. Maybe Carr. We have to deal with freaking especially if they don't fix their offensive line. They have to go against Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa, or they have to go against Chandler Jones and Max Crosby.
Big.
Like I don't want to face any of those guys with those offensive line.
Yeah.
So it's like
They're.
for them, they need to really work on offensive line.
We'll see how it goes. Realistically, Chase, with the moves right now that we know of, and we're gonna find out some more later on during the week. Where do you have your team sitting at in the rank? Like, yeah. Let's go rankings. Let's do rankings. Like, where is your team in your division? Where do you have them?
In the division,
Yeah, are they the number one team? Are they last? Are they in the middle?
it's
Who's
so
above them and who's below them at this point?
it's hard for me to say that right now because the Steelers have so many question marks, and not knowing what we have at quarterback is the biggest. So I can't put them number one. I think it still goes to the Bengals for our division. I still think they're number one. I'm gonna go. We're gonna get third at least right now. I'm saying we're a solid third because I just don't feel us with the way our coaching is. We're just constantly pushing for wins. I don't feel we're a last place team. So I want to say the Browns are going to be below us and the Ravens are going to be one ahead of us. I think it's going to be very tightly contested, though. I think the Steelers still have what it takes to be a tightly contested. It's going to rely on what Mitchell Trubisky can do, and we really don't know. But I think we're going to be a tightly contested team, and I want to say we'll fall around the second or third.
I think so. The Raiders. Listen, guys, I am like I've always said it. I'm a realistic Raider. If our defense is trash, I always say we're never going anywhere, and most of the time they were trash. I thought it was an improvement last year, even though the stats didn't show it. You saw the hard fight. You saw more of games where we would get close games, but this time around we'd actually win them, especially taking it to overtime. So there was the difference right there. We picked up some major weapons to continue to be in a race. When I'm going to say that I don't think we're the number one team in the West. I don't think in our division, I don't think we are going to win our division. I think it's a great step forward. If we get a couple more pieces, maybe, just like the Steelers, if we get these pieces together and maybe we get a slight edge. But right now, I'm going to say the Chargers are the team to beat because the Chargers are
Okay.
scary. They are a scary team. Watching the games, especially when we played them twice, I was there for the first game. I thought we could have beat them. I think last year I thought we could beat them. We could have took 2 games on them, but the offense was just absolutely the offensive coordinator. Thank God he's gone. Terrible. John Gruden's game plan, even though I like his hard nosed mentality, just didn't gel, man. A lot of these players just didn't. The rhythm was so bad sometimes. Like the Bears game, we should have beat the Bears last year, and it was
Yeah.
horrible. So you got to give it to Rich Bisaccia, man. He was killing it. He was doing the best he could with the team, and he got into the playoffs. But I'm gonna say the Chargers because when I'm watching the Chargers, and when I first saw this kid come in, I was like, God damn it, dude, this guy is good. This guy is really good, and that's Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is a solid quarterback, man. This dude
Yeah.
is accurate. He's dangerous. If you don't, if Raiders know how good he is because in that second game, the bananas game we played, and we should have won it by at least 2 touchdowns. But this kid throwing fourth downs and converting fourth downs, and he's converting it against Casey Hayward. He's converting it against Nate Hobbs, and Casey Hayward.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh, that's funny. I think that's the ad.
What? I
Did you
got
hear that?
nothing on my end. No.
Oh, I totally got
So,
music playing.
I,
Did you see
I just
dancing?
see you're saying just dancing. I'm like, what
Dude, the
You're in the
music,
middle
the
of
music
talking.
was the music was
Oh,
playing, and I thought it was just like, yeah,
I
it
got
was an
no
ad that
music,
was
so that
ruining
just
that.
looked weird from my end.
I was just going. I was like, where's that coming from? But yeah, dude, the Chargers are the team. I think they're the team to beat. Even though Khalil Mack, I think he's not as good as his prime. He was with the Raiders.
Yeah.
He was with maybe the first year of the Bears. He was injured last year too, so we got to watch out for that.
Yeah.
I think it makes that team scary though. You still because you have Bosa, like you said, at the edge,
Mhm.
and then you have Eckler as their running back. With when he's healthy, he is a
He's a
terrifying
beast.
guy.
Yeah.
Terrifying guy. The thing I think the Chargers are weak at though is I know they re-signed Mike Williams.
Yeah.
A lot of
Keenan
Charger
Allen.
fans love Mike Williams, but he to me he's a ghost
He's a
sometimes. He's not
little
there.
inconsistent. Yeah.
Yes, and I think Keenan Allen is really pushing his age, and he is known to get injured a lot too. But I'm going to give it
Yeah.
to the Chargers. I'm going to say the Chargers right now in the power rankings are number one. Uh, I think we're all very close, but I think the Chargers are number one. I think if Raiders make a couple more moves on the offensive line, and then if we get Stephon Gilmore, I think we got the Chargers number for sure. Number
Yeah.
two, number two, I'm gonna say the Raiders. I think the Raiders made
Mhm.
big splashes because of Devontae. If we because of Chandler, Max. I think even with the offensive line not being as good, still not there yet. Derek Carr still was a guy to be reckoned with without a number one wide receiver. And then Hunter Renfro. If Hunter Renfro
Beast.
could ball out like he did last year, this guy, we have 2 of the best route runners in the game. Watch Hunter Renfro. That guy is sick. He's a monster. And third down Renfro. I think,
Yeah.
I also think I would, I know you're probably saying to yourself, well, where's KC and Broncos?
Uh,
All right.
yeah.
Maybe if I had to say, I still think the Broncos are number 3. I still think the Broncos, yes, they got Russell Wilson, and I think we are argue about this. But the problem is Russell Wilson likes to do way too damn much, and he's already how many years into the NFL? So
Yeah.
when he's in a division with guys ready to eat him up, and the offensive line getting pissed at him because he's just not staying in the pocket or he's just really trying to do too much. This guy is I'm telling you guys, I like Russell Wilson. I think he's one of the best QBs, but seeing the last 2 years, it's not just the Seahawks that were bad. It was Russell Wilson making the Seahawks bad sometimes too. When you have DK Metcalf, and there would be games where DK only caught like two passes or one pass, and then Lockett. It was so inconsistent because it would be back and forth. Russell Wilson is going to get eaten alive. And if he gets hit a lot this year, he is going to get injured. I don't care how good of a workout he does, the LeBron workout, whatever. LeBron gets injured and he plays basketball. So I think Russell Wilson will get totally torched. And I think the Broncos, yes, they're a better team than last year with all the moves they made, especially with defense. But it's a new coach too. They got a new coach. We got a
Yeah.
new coach as well, but he's done it before, even though it's a failure. I just think the Broncos are not there yet. I just think they're not there yet, and I think KC. It's crazy to put them all on the bottom because
This is where
KC is.
why do you have the KC last?
It's crazy
I
to
don't care.
put.
The Broncos are last in my opinion.
It's
Yeah,
it's
KC low.
crazy to put KC last. It's an insane thought because I think last year I said, it's KC. I'm not really too shocked that they came back to win this, or I'm not too
Yeah.
shocked they came back to improve in the second half of the season and take the division. But that's the problem, Chase. They were so bad that first half of the season. They were bad.
really
They
bad.
were. They did not look good, and they're losing key members here. They still
Yeah.
have Kelsey. They still have Tyreek Hill. Of course, they have Patrick Mahomes. They added Juju, but that's offense. That's offensive weapons. They need an offensive line too. They need some defense. The
I
one
say they
major
don't have
problem
any
with Casey,
defense.
defense is terrible. Who's Casey got to play against? He's got to play against Devontae Adams. He's got to play against Hunter Renfro. He's got to play against, even though we say Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, they still got to look out for Austin Eckler. Justin Herbert is still throwing dimes out there. Patrick Mahomes was so inconsistent last. That was probably his worst year. Even the numbers might not say it. If you're a football fan and you're watching him, you're like, why are you doing that, dude? Why are you making these decisions? And the fact that I put KC in the very bottom is two reasons. One, Patrick Mahomes' family. Two, those TikTok videos that are going to happen with Juju and
Jackson.
and Patrick Jackson Mahomes. Dude, it's true, man. It's insane.
brutal.
Tell me, Chase, did you ever think we'd be talking about Patrick Mahomes' brother or his wife
Yeah.
throughout the whole season?
Whole season. It got worse.
The
It
playoffs?
just it's gotten nothing but worse. It just you think at some point Jackson Mahomes would get to the point like, hey, dude, you gotta shut the hell up and
Yes.
not get in your brother's way here. But he's ruined his image and everything. A person that Patrick Mahomes, I still respect the dude, but God, these two are ruining his image and are his big he's done nothing wrong, but his big his image destroyed because these two are just nightmares, man.
This is a distraction. Vegas had a lot of distractions last year too. A lot of crazy shit happened with Vegas.
Yeah.
But Casey's not done with it. Casey still has to deal with these knuckleheads. It's insane. Another thing too is if you know Andy Reid, if you've seen him with the Philadelphia Eagles, you know that yes, he has some winning seasons, took him to the Super Bowl, but what else did he have? Inconsistent seasons, failure seasons as well, and I see the pattern. I see KC kind of going downhill. You can only be on the top so long before you start going downhill. And if you notice, Kelsey didn't have a remarkable season as he usually does. Still a great season, but not a remarkable season. I think there's going to be some inner locker room shit it just feels that way, playing football and kind of seeing how this team is. They do come together in big moments. They do find a way to win. But I think they're going to start. I think you're going to really see KC kind of drop the ball. And yes, if they didn't make that Juju move, Easily, I think people would say they'd be in the bottom, even though they still have Tyreek and they still have Kelsey.
No, because they're still the Chiefs, and it's still Patrick Mahomes. I mean, so this is how I see it. I still think they're going to be number 3 or number 2, but I do think this is the season that you see them lose their division. I think they're still a wild card team. They'll still be a team that's kind of a nightmare to play because of how good Patrick Mahomes and how if they figure it out, as they don't fall like they did last season. They Patrick Mahomes does Patrick Mahomes things with Tyreek Hill and Juju and Travis Kelsey. They're going to be a terrible time to deal with. I think they're too good at quarterback to not be last place in your division. I think that'll go to the Broncos.
I
I think
think
you'll
their
see
defense
them
is
lose.
so weak, though.
Their
Their
defense
defense
is
is
weak.
so weak.
They showed up in the second half of the season, but they are weak. And
I didn't say this
every
though, but Denver
other
does
team,
have Cortland Sutton and does have
yeah, Jerry
uh
Judy,
Jerry Judy. Yeah, and
very
Jerry.
good wide receivers.
We'll
I've
see.
been a
We'll see with
big
Jerry
Cortland Sutton
Judy.
fan. I'm a big
We'll
Cortland
see.
Sutton fan.
Mhm.
But But yeah, the reason I don't disagree with you on the fact that they're going downhill because as good as the Chiefs are and as good as I think they still have like talent and they're a great playoff team, dude, like every team in your division, we're seeing it right now, done nothing but go big name, big baller. They are really stepped up. The teams last year were good. Like Raiders were solid. Chargers should have been a lot better than they were. They should have had a way better record. Like their
That was
team
their
is way
coach's
talented.
boneheaded decisions. I
Bonehead
will give it
moves. Bonehead moves.
stupid moves.
And so, but the talent, they're getting better. These teams are climbing up to the Chiefs in talent and all that stuff. They might not have Patrick Mahomes. Derek Carr is not Patrick Mahomes, but the talent of the Raiders has jumped tremendously, and the Chiefs haven't jumped that much. They added Juju, which is great. I think he's a great third down wide receiver, but their defense is
I'm
slacking.
gonna put KC at number 3 then. KC number 3,
Yeah,
Broncos at number 4 because we did get our ass kicked.
yeah.
Like it was bad. It was really really bad. But I just feel like it's a turning of the tides.
They're
The
the
schemes are gonna be different now.
To me, they're the same team as last year. So the team last year went to the AFC Championship. They were still a tough, destroyed the shit out of my weak Steelers in the playoffs. But the other teams in their division have caught up. They're or at least catching up, and they are going to have the biggest challenge they've had in the Patrick Mahomes dynasty that they're going with right now.
Even I would say even the Raiders might be going to. You could even make an argument that Raiders could be number 3 because the problem
Yeah.
is with the Raiders, they get the hard schedule. They
Yeah.
always get a hard ass schedule, and it's such bullshit.
Well, you're
But
now in the hardest division in the league. Like that's it. Last year,
hardest division, hardest
hardest.
schedule. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we're playing against
And
the
you're in the hardest
Niners
division,
this
hardest
year,
conference.
and the
Gotta go against the
Niners are a
Niners.
solid
Yeah.
defense, and that's gonna be a good game. I'm gonna go to that game. That's the game I'm gonna
Not
go
really.
to.
I'm thinking about going
Yeah.
to
And,
Steelers. Atlanta.
let's see real quick. Before we finish this
Does
off,
that mean you guys have the Rams too, or is it just the Niners out of the division? Because you usually play one NFC division and then one.
let's take a look. Let's take a look at the Steelers. Check on your end your Steelers schedule and see how you guys
Yeah.
are faring here. Raiders men basketball? No, Las Vegas Raiders, dude. Oh my God, I can't get it.
Okay, here's mine. I'll say that for the Steelers, we're playing the NFC West. I mean the NFC South. So that means we'll go against Atlanta, Carolina.
Should be
The
wins. Should be
Buc-
wins.
Yeah, the Bucks, which probably a loss, and the who's the other team in the South? Who the hell is it? So we're going against the NFC South. I can't remember the Saints. So we got the NFC South, which is kind of an easier division. I think besides the Bucks, each other team is beatable. I'm trying to go to the Atlanta game because that's just near me. So the Steelers and Atlanta game. It's like 2 hours away.
Ooh, dude, there's a
Yeah.
lot of games I want to go to. We play you guys
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah,
We
and
play
then
you guys at Heinz Field.
I might go to
Yeah.
that. Let's see this Raiders get their ass kicked.
This is a tough schedule still.
Ours is pretty easy.
This is a
I think
pretty
ours is ranked in the middle.
okay. So we play
We got
Denver
Buffalo, though.
twice, of course. We
Yeah.
got the Hall of Fame game against Jacksonville. We need if we don't beat them, that's a tell. This lets me know how the season's gonna go.
Yeah.
KC twice. We do play Chargers twice. We got the Houston Texans. That's another game we need. Like it has to be a must win. I mean,
Yeah.
if we don't win that game, it's embarrassing. We do play the Colts again, which is always a tough team. I think we can edge them out though.
Yeah.
Here's another big one. Here's a tough one though. This is Arizona Cardinals. Depending on if Kyrie Murray's still on there,
Yeah.
that's a tough one. Niner game is going to be absolutely tough because even though here's the problem, even though we love our stadium, it is doesn't feel like the Oakland Coliseum because there's a lot of like there's going to be a lot of Niner fans at that Allegiant Stadium because it's easier access to go to Vegas and watch a game of your team that's from freaking Baltimore or whatever.
Yeah.
We do play against the Rams in Inglewood. I might go to that one. That'd be kind of a dope game. Tennessee Titans, they're still a solid team, man. They're still a solid team, especially with King Henry.
Yeah. He
Seattle
is.
Seahawks, rebuild mode. We should beat them. But we got New England Patriots. The Patriots, Bill Belichick, coaching staff, talent. That's another game that it's a toss up for me. The New Orleans Saints. That's a rebuild mode team, but that's all. That's it. Those are a couple teams that should be for sure wins, but this is a hard schedule. This is a harder schedule than last year. This is hard, dude. This is a hard schedule.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
it's exciting games. It's exciting
Yeah.
games, but wow,
Hey,
wow, this is
iron sharpens iron, So you get tougher schedules. If you can beat it and you turn out with a good record, that means you're a good team because you're
That's
beating
what
the
I'm
better
saying.
teams.
You got to welcome the challenge. If you're able to
Yeah.
not dominate, but beat these teams, especially you're not going to
Yeah.
expect to dominate them, but maybe close games. If you
Yeah.
beat these teams, it makes you tougher. That's why I really loved how. Well, I didn't really love it because I almost got a heart attack when we played against the Ravens. We ended up
Yeah, that
beating
game
them,
was crazy.
and that gave us confidence, motivation, and then we went on that streak. And I think if we didn't really win it the way we did with against the Ravens, maybe we don't go on that hot streak because then after that we went on a low streak. So tough schedule, but the Raiders need to come and play, and they still need to go get some defense. So if we can go get Stephon Gilmore,
Yeah.
Matthew, if we can get Dunlap, if we can get Bobby Wagner, I'll be very happy. But of course, on the opposite, if we can get more offensive line, especially a right guard, some guards, tackle, will be solid because I think we're playing the Rams game where we're not really looking to draft too much. We're looking to go get guys who are vets.
Yeah. I think the Steelers are a team that's like we don't know what we're going to get out of our quarterback position next year. We don't know exactly what Trubisky is going to have in him, whether he's going to be the guy or not. So I think for them, it's a lot of let's build around him and give him everything he can. Give him his best shot. If Trubisky is going to be the guy, if this is who Mike Tomlin and the Steelers can work in their offense, give him everything he's got. I agree. We need to go out to another wide receiver. Go after running. We need a number 2 running back. Najee Harris cannot be taking the brunt of the work like he's doing. We made little strides to improve offensive line. Let's continue that. To me, offensive line is absolute key. And then defensively, we need to improve our run game. We have a lot of injured players coming. Our run defense, we have a lot of injured players coming back. We did get Miles Jack, which is huge. So I think we're making the right directions in coming and getting our run defense back up. 1 or 2 more studs in the secondary. I think our defense will be back in where it needs to be, where it was 2 years ago when it was just unbelievable, unstoppable. We still led the league sacks like 4 or 5 seasons in a row now. So I'm about the sack producing because
You guys
we're
got
just
ripped
really
apart some games.
we got ripped apart running the ball. We could not stop the ball. We could not stop them running the ball against us. We were terrible at run defense. We were 2 at run defense. Absolute dreadful. As we lost our 2 interior defensive linemen and Tua Alua, I think is his name. He was gone all season along with Stephon Tuitt. We have no idea if he's coming back or not. He didn't play last season, not because of injury, but because I think his brother or his dad was killed, and he dealt with like a lot of emotional stuff. So he didn't play. We have no idea what he's doing. So that's why it would have been nice to go get Flexter Cox to replace him because we don't know, or just to have him just so we can So if we can get them
That
back, though, those are two huge additions that can definitely help. Along with Miles Jack, and hoping that Devin Bush, our middle linebacker, improves to a shitty performance last year.
I don't think it's a done deal yet, though. Oh no, they did it.
Yeah,
Yeah, they did. They did the
yeah, I'm
one
pretty
deal.
sure yeah,
It's done
it's a
deal.
1 year
Done deal.
deal.
All right. Well, we're gonna see this week. And see, we'll probably come back and talk about the end of the free agency. We're gonna see what happens, what players go where. Maybe some blockbuster trades still to come because I think everybody is gunning to try to improve their team, prove themselves. I'll be absolutely floored if there's another crazy ass trade that any of the AFC
Yeah,
West does, or like if KC is able to pull something out of their ass, it'd be insane. So
yeah,
we'll see. I'm looking forward to football once again. I see the schedule and I want to go to like 3 games, but they're so expensive. But you got to pick. I know for sure I'm
yeah.
going to the Niner game. It's just whether I want to
Good
go
one.
to the Patriot or the Rams game.
I go to the Rams. Although I guess I go to the Patriots because you're probably gonna get your ass kicked by the Rams. Let's be honest. Wait, in SoFi?
It's in
SoFi would be
SoFi.
cool.
Nah,
Yeah,
man.
never mind.
We're,
SoFi
we're
cool.
coming after that ass,
Good.
Matthew. Remember, Matthew Stafford struggled too before he started get. He was
Still good
hurt a
though.
lot. He was hurt a lot.
He had an injury a little bit. Yeah, he has some down. He has down weeks, but he rises from the ashes.
Oh my god!
And
Shut up,
you know, got
Chase.
some.
All
Just
right,
saying, I
guys.
call.
I'm gonna end it here. So until next time, we talk more Raiders and also some
Steelers,
Steelers.
baby.
We'll see how our team goes. We play you guys, so I guess another bet might be happening.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
all right, guys. You guys have a good
Pittsburgh.
one.